For my final project, I decided to talk about art and psychology. I'm specifically going to be talking about art and mental disorders. So, art is a way of expression. Art is primarily a visual medium that is used to express ideas about our human experience in the world around us. That's from our textbook. Mental disorders can alter one's experiences in the way one perceives the world. Oftentimes, mental disorders can distort reality. Some artists use art as an outlet to share their experience, while others use it to cope with the heaviness mental disorders weigh on one. So the first artist I'll be talking about is Brian Charnley, and he was alive from 1949 to 1991. Charnley suffered from schizophrenia. While experiencing this mental disorder, Charnley was able to create a visual and written record of his experiences. His art allows us to perceive the world the way he did. Unfortunately, Charnley killed himself in 1991, but before doing so, he painted a series called Self-Portrait, which is very fascinating, and which is actually what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to be showing images from his Self-Portrait series, and he was encouraged to keep a diary with all of his paintings, so I'll be reading the descriptions from his diary. So this one is from July 19th, 1991, and it says, "Conventional portrait painted in 2 sittings. Is it a good likeliness? Drug dosage was 3 milligrams, tablets of Dexapol daily plus 2 milligrams of Tripasol. I was sleeping a lot, 11th to the 16th, April 1991. The next one was painted on May 6th, 1991. I feel like a target for people's cruel remarks, especially Negroes. What is going on? I had sweet-talked a girl to suicide because I had no tongue, no real tongue, and could only flatter. This is very much involved with why I am ill. The nail in the mouth expresses this. The people around me cannot understand how I was so stupid and cannot forgive them. The nails in my eyes express that I cannot see, whereas other people seem to have extra sensory perception, and I am blind in this respect. Love hurts. I keep well away from women on advice from my psychiatrist. On 2 Dexapol tablets plus 2 tablets of antidepressant, Tripsitol." This portrait is from April 24th, 1991. Why miss a golden opportunity to describe through paint total mental disintegration? Painted the day after the last portrait, the horns of ESP are supposed to function as mouths. Total lack of concentration meant a graffiti effect again. The spots on the brain of the head are real blood to try and get over the mental pain I was experiencing. I was smoking heavily, hence the pipe. No eyes to see what is really going on, and a stitched-up mouth. The blood is my own. I stabbed the base of my thumb. Not the kind of thing you are able to do on the tranquilizers. Still, only 1 tablet of Dexapol and sleeping pill. But no, I cannot go on much longer." This last portrait in the series was on July 19th, 1991, which was unfortunately a couple days before Charnley killed himself, and he actually did not write any commentary on the last 2 portraits. I really enjoyed looking into Brian Charnley's self-portraits, but it did make me particularly sad seeing all of the portraits that he did right before he killed himself. The next artist I'm going to talk about is Yayoi Kusama. And Kusama also suffered from schizophrenia, and she suffered from other mental disorders as well. When she was 10, Kusama experienced hallucinations in which flowers would speak to her and patterns and fabrics would come to life and consume her. She began to draw these visions as a therapeutic outlet, providing her with solace and control over the anxiety and tormented her. Today, Kusama reigns as one of the most unique and famous contemporary female artists, operating from her self-imposed home in a mental hospital. This is an early picture of Kusama. She herself is covered in an outfit of polka dots, and then she is also covered a horse in polka dots. It seems that Kusama might have used polka dots because the images danced when she was looking at them, and polka dots are so there. Usually they're contrasted with the background, So this could have made them dance more or, come at her more, which could have been a representation of her mental disorder. And here's an image of Kusama in her studio. I just think this picture is really cool. You can see all of the patterns that she is using, the faces in the background. Her outfit matches the background, which I also really enjoyed. I think she uses patterns and polka dots, like I said, because these images dance. And so these patterns, like the little swirls and the polka dots, I'm sure when the images are dancing, look really beautiful. Kusama also does infinity rooms. This is just one example, and the reason I chose this is because I actually went to the infinity room, and when you step inside of the infinity room, you immediately are just in color, and there's thousands of lights everywhere and thousands of you everywhere. So I think this really ties with Kusama's coping of her schizophrenia. I think just seeing so many lights and so many versions of you standing there, it was just really interesting to see in person, and I would highly recommend it. It's at the Broad Museum. The next artist I'm choosing to talk about is Anna Zemenkova. I believe that's how you pronounce it, and she was alive from 1908 to 1986. Zemenkova struggled with depression and temperamental issues, which onset later in her life around the age of 50. Her son gave her art materials and encouraged her to pursue creative work as an outlet for her depression. He made her a drawing table that she would work at every morning during the early hours. Zemenkova's only motivation to get out of bed in the morning was the art. She worked in a trance-like state, forgetting about the depression she was suffering from. Zemenkova's art is really beautiful. She used, in her earlier works, just colored pencils, and then as her works began to develop more, she began using beading and sewing in her art. So she would actually sew beads and thread, silk thread to be specific, through her papers. I actually got to see Zemenkova's work in a gallery, the Good Luck Gallery, which likes to exhibit artists who are self-taught. And seeing Zemenkova's work in person was so incredible. You didn't see the beadings at first. It just looked like a 2D drawing, and then you walk closer to the images and you can see every fine detail of the threading and the beading. It was just really, really cool to see. I feel really lucky that I did get to see her work because it's not displayed in many places. And the last artist I'm going to talk about is Melissa McCracken, and she was born in 1990 and is still alive today and still doing work. So Melissa McCracken has a disorder called synesthesia, and synesthesia is where the mind crosses senses, and every synesthete experience has something different. In McCracken's case, the sounds that she hears every day, whether it's someone's name or a song on the radio, are translated into vibrant, beautiful colors that carry the cadence of melodies. McCracken's vivid paintings stem from her desire to capture her daily experiences so that others can understand the brilliant, saturated world she inhabits. It wasn't until the age of 15 that McCracken realized that not everybody lived in the same hue-rich, dynamic realm of color that she had known since birth. Basically, my brain is cross-wired, she explains regarding her synesthesia. I experienced the wrong sensation in certain stimuli. Each letter and number is colored, and the days of the week circle around my body as if they had a set point in space. But the most wonderful brain malfunction of all is seeing the music I hear. It flows in the mixture of hues, textures, and movements, shifting as if it were a vital and intentional element of each song. So I just chose one of her works to talk about, and I'm going to show you Imagine by John Lennon, and I'm actually going to play the song as if we were experiencing what she was.
No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people
I think it's really cool that she uses her mental disorder and kind of tries to display to the world what she is experiencing. If I had to guess what color John Lennon's voice was, I would say it's the gold color because it's so rich and beautiful. I could totally be wrong. I'm just guessing here. So I just wanted to close out my video by saying overall, art and psychology are two fields that are intertwined greatly. Mental disorders influence and inspire some beautiful art, whether it's used as an outlet to express feelings or attempt to heal. The artists I chose to talk about today are all very inspiring. Their works are all very unique, just as they are unique individuals. And here are my sources cited. And that's it, everyone.